Hello budget friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome back to my channel, but if you're new here, welcome. My name is Melissa. This video is going to be about closing out paycheck number 1 of August. I'm going to go over the transactions and then I'm going to show you the numbers in comparison to what I had budgeted at the start of the month. So let's jump in. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I am not going to tarry too long on this video. I'm just going to run through the transactions. There's a lot of them that you've already seen in YNAB. So I'm going to go through line by line, tell you what they were. So first up is my paycheck that came in for $2,624.32. This paycheck had a little bit of overtime on it, and I'm very grateful to be able to work some overtime because side hustling has been slow for me because I'm taking a step back. Next up, hubby transferred in $1,000. Then the student loan payment came out for $40. I went to CVS. I picked up some household goods for $51.52. Next is TMB Auto for maintenance and repair on one of our vehicles, only cost us $10. Also at CVS, there was some additional household goods for $36.10. Now on the second, I made the first half of my one main personal loan payment for $254. Then I went ahead and I made half of my auto loan payment for $470. I had gone to McDonald's for some food. I'm not sure if this was breakfast or lunch, but this was $11.94. Then I paid my electric bill to PSEG for $100.70. On the 3rd, I went to King Cullen for groceries for $40.94. The bagel shop, I got breakfast for $10. And on the 5th, I went back to the bagel shop for breakfast again for $9. Next up is New York Cancer and Blood. This is a copay that was a previous visit for $35. I went to Walgreens and I think I had gotten a drink for $2.70. I just put it under the groceries category. I made a credit card payment to my Discover card for $159, and then I made a payment to my Marcus credit card for $245. So there is $200 in here that I already mentioned that I got back from my dental insurance, so I went ahead and applied it directly to the card. On the 5th, Amazon for household goods for $44.53. So I ended up getting a new mattress pad for our bed because I have been having some back pains and I'm not sure if it's coming from my bed, which is a new bed, but I'm not sure where it's coming from. So I went ahead and I bought a mattress pad. On the 6th, Sunrise Medical is a copay that I had to pay for my little one for $7.31. For SP Hospital, there's another copay, and these are what I've spoken about. They come home in the mail. So what you're seeing here are just copays that I have been trying to figure out if I really owe them or if the doctor's office or the hospital are billing me in addition to what they already billed me and that I already paid for. So there's $50 here. There's $100 here for a copay for my daughter. She had gone to the hospital in the emergency room. This is a split between her dad and I, and you will see it coming up. I will talk about it in just 1 second, but the $100 was paid to the hospital. IRR is now one that ended up in their collections department for the hospital because I was refusing to pay it, but I was like, I don't need this to go on my credit, so I went ahead and paid $50. Then I made a loan payment to Lending Club for $300. And the next day I thought about it and I moved some money around and I made another loan payment to Lending Club for $110. So this is me trying to cut the interest on the loan because the more days that go between the payments is the more interest that they charge me. So I was trying to come up with a plan of how to lower my interest. On the 7th, I got a payment out from Instacart. This is a small payment because I didn't hustle a lot that week. I got $180.42. Then I paid child support to my my daughter for $213. So usually the child support payment is $260, but I subtracted $50 to accommodate half of the co-payment here because I paid the whole thing myself. So I just took that money out of the child support. Next up is another visit to McDonald's for $10.20. Then I went to BJ's for groceries for $117.97. Next up on the 8th, I made the last part of the loan payment to Lending Club. So I decided to just go ahead, and I had pulled this out of rent. And, eventually I knew I was going to be able to put the money back because the SSI benefits was coming in. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and apply that money to Lending Club to cut the interest. And when I do my debt closeout for the month of August, you guys will see the amount of interest that I was able to cut down on because I ended up making the payment. Next is HP Inc. for $5.42. Then a credit card payment to my Apple Card for 58 cents. So what happened is I made payments. I think this is for the HP Inc. So I made a payment for $6 to my Apple Card to cover the HP Inc. So because HP Inc. came in under, the 58 cents is the balance that went onto the cards as a payment, if that makes sense. Then I had some money sent to my savings. I'm not going to go through each category. I'm just going to tell you how much was sent. I sent a total of $157.18 over to my savings categories. So you guys will see what those are when I close out my savings and sinking funds for the month of August. Then there was another payment to New York Cancer and Blood. So this is an actual visit that I had with my doctor. I paid $25. That same day, I had another doctor's appointment with my primary care physician. That's also another $25 copay. I had stopped at Panera. These are on the 9th. So I had stopped at Panera and gotten some breakfast for $12.14. And then I had pizza because that same day I went to work. So it was a very busy day. I had 2 doctor's appointments in the morning, and then I had work in the evening, and I didn't have time to cook or get myself anything. So I went and got pizza for $6. That same day when I was out at the doctor's office, I got gas for $100. So the periodontist is up next. This was actually the day before, but this payment posted on the 9th. So there was $190, and you guys already heard about this. On the 10th, Temu Spend How I Want. This is something that I had ordered from Temu. It was a small order. I had, I think I ordered a tripod that I was going to try out because I wanted to do some cash stuffings for you guys to see. I ended up buying some more envelopes for my cash wallet, and I also bought a budget book. I had seen them advertised in a budget book, and even though I do budget digitally, I also like paper and pen because that's the way I started. Then the bagel shop on the same day, I got breakfast for $6. The next day on the 11th, I got groceries at King Cullen for $70.60. On the 11th, my side hustle money came in from Instacart for $223.44. I went to Walgreens. I had to pick up medication for another 3-month supply of medication that I do take daily, $60. Then I came in and I made the second half of the loan payment for my auto loan for $470. I had to transfer in some money from savings because I had ran out of money. So $51.49 was what I transferred in. The SSI benefits came in for $1,342. And you guys did see me budget this money along with the Instacart money that I made here. Next, I made some payments to my credit cards, and this was what YNAB had me pay, which was the interest on these credit cards, and I went ahead and paid them. $26 for Marcus, $62.27 for Capital One number 2, $56.17 for my Apple Card, and $333.91 for Capital One number 1. On the 12th, I went back to McDonald's for $9.96. CVS, I got some more household products for $14.39. I got a snack at CVS when I was there for $5.22. And I picked up some stuff in the braids and things category for my hair for $4.30. On the 13th, Google Cloud came out for $2.16. Then I went to Stop and Shop and bought some more groceries for $17.80. Then this is what you guys seen at the end of pay period number one before I got paid again. I had to get some household products. So the filters for $84.12, Ace Hardware for light bulbs for $23.86. I went to Stop and Shop and I got a snack for $1.51. This day I was out doing Instacart orders. And then I made my credit card payment to Mattress Firm for $67. So on the 15th, I just went ahead. This is the last day of the pay period, and I go ahead and subtracted the amount for the rent. The rent has not been withdrawn from my account yet. My landlord has not deposited the check, but I just went ahead and take the $2,500 out of the budget. NF orthodontist for the braces for my son for $164. And I went back to the bagel shop for breakfast. I just got a bagel for $2. So you guys, this is all the transactions for the first pay period of August. I'm just going to go in and do a comparison of what was budgeted versus what was paid out. All right, so into the budget, I had budgeted for a rollover of $1,250, which was supposed to be half of August's rent, but I actually rolled over $1,961.09, and you guys have seen that. Our main income, I had budgeted $4,555. This is my income, hubby's income on our SSI benefits that comes in every month, but we actually brought in $4,966.32. Now for miscellaneous and transfers, I didn't budget anything, but $455.35 came into the budget. So the budgeted amount of total income was $5,805, but I actually brought in $7,382.76. So this is a very good start to the month. So the rent was budgeted at $2,500, and like I said, I just put that into the budget because the money is already set aside. Electric budgeted at $101. I paid $100.70. HB Inc. budgeted at $6. I paid $5.42. Peloton I had pause, so nothing came out even though $44 was budgeted. Google Cloud I budgeted $3. I spent $2.16. Now everything else in this category is for the second pay period. So I budgeted to spend in the monthly bill section for $2,654, but we came in under budget for $2,608.28. Next is the My Babies section. I budgeted braces for $164, and that was what was paid. Child support was budgeted at $263, but like I mentioned, I paid $50 towards the copay, so $213 was what was spent. So out of the $427, we ended up spending $377 for the first pay period. In the transportation section, so what I didn't do was budget anything for auto loan, but I managed to pay $940 in full for my auto loan payment. Car insurance was budgeted at $260, but I actually moved this to pay period number 2 because I'm not getting charged interest on here, but I am getting charged interest on my auto loan. So I prioritize paying the auto loan over the car insurance. Car fuel, I budgeted $200, but I only spent $100. And maintenance and repairs wasn't budgeted for the pay period, but I spent $10. So $460 was the budgeted amount, but we came in over budget for $1,050. So next up is the everyday section, and everything went over budget in this category. So let's just go ahead and we're going to highlight all of these red because I did go over budget in all of the categories here. Copay was budgeted at $70. I spent $292.31. Eating out was budgeted at $80, and I came in at $83.97. Groceries budgeted at $200, came in at $250.01. Household goods budgeted at $100, but we came in at $254.52. Medication budgeted $0, but spent $60. So out of the $450 that was budgeted, we ended up spending $940.81, way over budget. In the personal section for braids and things, I budgeted $15. I spent $4.30. Dental is the new category that has been entered. I spoke about this already. I didn't budget anything, but I spent $190 at the periodontist. Spend how I want, I budgeted 12. I spent $11.77. So out of this little bit of $27 that I budgeted, I spent $206.07. Next up is the main focus section. I didn't have anything budgeted for the student loan. I don't know why, but I spent $40, so that is considered over budget. I budgeted $254 for one main, that was what was paid. And lending club, I had it budgeted at the full payment $1,060, and that was what was paid. So out of the $1,314 that was budgeted, we slightly went over budget and spent $1,354. And I'm going to leave it in this dark color because it's hard to see, but let's see if we could find a color that shows. Okay, that works. In the credit card section, I budgeted $45 for Marcus, but because I ended up getting the reimbursement from my dental insurance, I ended up putting more of $271 towards that credit card. Discover was budgeted at $165, but we came in at $159. I'm not sure as to why I have $165 here. I think it's just a carryover from what I thought it was going to be. But anyway, that's what I paid. $67 for Mattress Firm, that was what was paid. Now for the rest of this category, I didn't budget anything, but I spent $333.91 for Capital One number 1. I spent $62.27 for Capital One number 2, and $56.75 was paid out to Apple Card. So those are all over budget. So I had only budgeted $277, but I spent $949.93. I'm not too mad at this because this is paying down my debt. Now the savings and sinking fund section, like I mentioned in the transaction log, I'm not going to go over those, but I had budgeted to send $196 and I ended up sending less. I sent $157.18. So let's talk about the summary. I budgeted to bring in $5,805, but brought in more, $7,382.76. I wanted to spend what was budgeted for the income because we are zero-based budgeters, but we spent more than what we brought in, $7,643.27. So you guys, even though we ended the pay period in the red, I'm not mad at it because I was able to pay all of my loans. I paid my one main personal loan. I paid towards my lending club. I went ahead and I paid the full payment to my auto loan, which was not budgeted. And I was also able to send $949.93 to credit cards. So this is cutting down the interest. So even though this is a negative number leading into the new pay period, I'm not mad at it, you guys. Not mad at it at all. I'm considering this a win for this pay period. And as you guys have seen in my YNAB budgeting videos, we're doing good so far. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to stop in and watch this video. Thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. But if you haven't, before you go, please like, please comment, and please subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.